everyone, it's Soolin, and welcome to my 2020 bullet journal setup. So first things first, materials. I'm using this dotted journal from Amazon that I got like a year ago, but it works for me. I'm also using my calligraphy gold pen that has a 2.0mm side and a 3.5mm side. I have my trusty Sarasa clip pen from Zebra in black, size 0.5, and finally my Tombow Fudenosuke soft brush pen. So obviously it's a little late in the year to be starting my bullet journal, seeing as how it's almost February, but life happens and I wasn't able to plan for the new year as well as I would have liked, but better late than never. I think no matter what time of the year it is, we should always be trying to better ourselves, and so here I am in February doing my 2020 bullet journal setup. I encourage those of you who also didn't start their bullet journal for whatever reason to start now, because even if it's just a little bit of structure to add to your life, it can definitely help. Anyway, let's get right to it. Now, my theme for this year was based off the 1920s. It's the new 2020s decade after all. The Art Deco and more well-known Gatsby theme fit well with what I wanted in the new year. Not necessarily the glamour or anything, but the organization of the design itself. It feels fitting to have that be the theme, as my goal this year is to bring a little more organization and structure into my life and overall be a more productive person. Anyway, here I'm doing my cover page. I've decided to add the 1920s Art Deco moon here, as crescent moons symbolize new beginnings, which I thought was quite fitting. Here I'm just finishing up the iconic vase and adding the year 2020 in Art Deco inspired numbers. Here is my resolutions page, which I usually never do, but as my goal this year is to have more structure, I thought having resolutions would help remind me of the type of mindset I decided to bring to the new year. As you can see, I'm just doing a simple but beautiful pattern in the background of my resolutions box. I decided on this design because I feel like the busy background contrasts well to the simple resolutions box. I wanted my resolutions this year to be a bit simpler, focusing on the most basic of needs and being kinder to myself and the expectations that I put on myself. So this design is a bit symbolic, but on a lighter note, to me this design always looked like fans, which I know is probably not the inspiration for this design, but hey, you never know. I think this page definitely took the longest, but it turned out beautiful, and I think it is my favorite of all the pages from this year's setup, so I'm really happy about that. Now, this year I've decided to do a simple grid cheat sheet because I'm using a bullet journal that I've never used before. The spacing of the dots ended up being different from what I'm used to, and so I thought it'd be helpful to add this page in this year. This page, however, did end up taking a bit of time because of all the numbers and lines that I had to figure out, but ultimately it saved me some time later on in the setup, so I guess it definitely did its job. I split it into quarters, halves, and thirds, and now I'm just doing the title for this page. This is an optional page that you guys don't really have to do, but I like to have a quotes page somewhere in my yearly setup because it's a visually aesthetic way of reminding me later on in the year of what my mindset was going into it. I feel like I start to lose my desire to better myself as I get pushed around by life throughout the year, so it's nice to look back and see this. For this year, I chose the quote, "What the new year brings depends on what you bring to the new year." This year, I wanted to be more responsible with my life and what I do with it. Last year was a pretty unproductive year for me, and I was disappointed with myself for being so complacent with my life, and I thought this year's quote just really speaks to that. Here, I added some cute designs and stars because it was feeling a little empty, and I do like how it turned out. Here is my future log / date book. I just did a simple setup for this, starting with the Art Deco inspired letters for the months. I really like having this page so that I can jot down important dates like birthdays or upcoming meetings that I know are going to happen in the near or far future. I look back on it every week to make sure I'm not forgetting anything in my weekly setup. Here I'm just adding a simple Art Deco border that I actually ended up really liking. This page took quite a while along with the next page just because of all the numbers for each month, but I do really like how it turned out. I think it looks really cute but simple. Now this is just the continuation of my datebook / future log. I didn't actually title these pages because it's a bit obvious what they are. I did the same simple design because they're the same page concepts, but this year I'm really excited for these pages because I get to add college acceptance days and decision days because your girl is finally going to college and I'm so excited. This is going to be a very interesting but crazy and fun year, and I'm so excited to share it with you guys in the future. Now this is my goals page. I'm really proud of the design in the middle. I think it turned out super great and really matches the concept of Art Deco, but also the layout of my goals page, and I really like it. This year I separated my goals into 4 categories: lifestyle, finances, relationships, and spirituality, all things that I really want to focus on bettering and improving this year. I know bettering's not a word, but moving on. I really liked how this page turned out, and I'll definitely be looking back on it to refocus myself throughout the year. Now this is a new addition to my bullet journal setup. This year I've decided to do a year in Polaroids page, which is a bit misleading. I actually don't have a Polaroid camera, although I am planning on getting one in the near future. But for my college application art portfolio, I did this collage of charcoal self-portraits that I made to look like Polaroids. I really liked how it turned out, and it became the inspiration for this page. I thought it encouraged me to also just create more art, and so every month I'll be looking through my camera roll and picking the one that was the most memorable, and hopefully by the end of this year, these pages will be filled with super cool looking Polaroid drawings, and hopefully it looks really good. I'm super excited to show you guys what it ends up looking like, and hopefully I do commit and get this done every month. Here, I'm just doing the same thing I did for the last 2 pages, but for the last 6 months. For these Polaroid pages, I just did a simple Art Deco border and added some rectangles for where the Polaroids are going to be for every month. I did the months in the Art Deco font that I used throughout the setup, which I'm proud to say that I definitely think I got a better hang of throughout this setup, and so this last page looks the best in terms of the font. But for these set of months, I changed the title from 2020 in Polaroids to Memories of 2020 just to change it up a little. So that was it. My very late but pretty 2020 bullet journal setup that was Art Deco inspired as a throwback to the 1920s. I did end up going back and adding some crescent moons and some stars, but I really liked how it turned out in the end, and I hope this inspires you guys to start a bullet journal, even if it is a little late. I really hope you guys enjoyed this plan with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!